Welcome to this brand new series of the Birth and Baby Business Show, which we are calling Lessons from a Birth or Baby Business Owner. And we'll be speaking to those who have been in the birth or baby business world to ask them questions that you would like to know the answer to on how they got to where they are in the business world right now. Hello, my name is Anna Lagrange and I'm one half of Baba Business, which is the Birth and Baby Business Academy.
And my name's Liz Stamford and I am the other half of Baba Business, the community membership for birth and baby business owners. And today we have the pleasure of chatting to the lovely Rachel Kirkpatrick. So Rachel is founder of Rose Wellbeing Therapies. She's a postnatal specialist supporting families in Dumfries, southwest Scotland. She also supports parent and baby businesses with digital products, such as her recently released private label rights Reflux Package, which I did a bit of a deep dive on last night. And me and Anna, we just love seeing like new, innovative products and ways of bringing new products to the market, and seeing birth and baby business owners doing that. And I really think that what Rachel's doing right now is very new and innovative for the birth and baby world. So I can't wait to find out more about that. But I think the best place to start, really, Rachel, is why don't you tell us about why you started your business and what led to it? Where was the beginning?
Well, baby massage became a passion of mine when I had my son. So I was quite a young mum and I was a single parent, and I bravely went to my first baby massage class and I got to the door, burst into tears and ran away. And the teacher came out and chased after me, calmed me down and brought me back in. And that was the day that I fell in love with baby massage and massage in general. And I still massage my teenager today. It's a big part of our household. And from there, I developed a passion for yoga when my son was a toddler. So I started my yoga teacher training back in 2016 with Yoga Scotland, and then went on the search for baby massage training and completed that in 2018 at the end of the year. And then at the beginning of 2019, I bravely launched Rose Wellbeing Therapies. So it has been a bit of a journey to get there, and I'm glad I launched it. Very proud of it.
Brilliant. I love how you said you bravely launched Rose Wellbeing Therapies. I think that is that's really key, isn't it? Because it does take bravery to be an entrepreneur and to be a business owner and to kind of like put your flag in the sand and say, I'm doing this and this is my business. So I definitely congratulate you on that. And I just wanted to reference really the beginning of your journey where you were talking about how you had that moment where baby massage became like a love and a passion of yours, and it was down to how the baby massage teacher treated you and supported you and like really helped you. That means so much to a new mom, doesn't it, when you get that kind of love and support? And that's what we're all about as birth and baby business owners. That's what we do. We want to improve experiences for parents and families. So I really connect with that, and I think that people listening to this will be like, oh, I had a moment like that as well. I totally resonate with it. So thank you so much for sharing it. How do you feel like your business journey has been so far in terms of, before we could kind of get into talking about the digital products, but in terms of filling your classes and building your reputation, like online, but also in your local area? How have you found that journey and that experience?
To begin with, being in such a small rural town, we didn't have that many classes at the time when I started. So I started with about 3 mums, who I still know now. Those little ones have went off to school. And I slowly grew it from there. And it took a lot of patience and reminding myself that it was word of mouth, and that those mums would go on to say, oh, I've went to this class. And it took a good few months to build up, just more mums slowly coming along to classes and things. So I'm glad I persevered with it, and I'm glad that I stuck with it, because my classes obviously got fuller and fuller as that first year went on. So it does take time.
Yeah, I think that's such good advice, because the perseverance is a really key part. And I think people, when we train in something, obviously we have our vision that we're going to have sort of full classes, and maybe we've got, and we want to have a sustainable business, don't we? And we're thinking about the teaching, but we don't always think about what goes into filling those classes, the marketing, the networking, and all of that kind of stuff. I think sometimes when we have that first class, that first cohort, I definitely had this with the Mindful Breastfeeding School for Professionals. If you've got to carry on, even if you have one person, two people, because that's how businesses grow, and that's how even probably some of the biggest businesses in the world, like Virgin, they started off with one customer. Do you know what I mean? They didn't grow to where they are today just overnight. So I think it's such an important lesson to have patience and understand that it builds one customer at a time. So I really, really love that. And yeah, I'd just love to know a bit more about how it's grown, and what have you changed over that time with sort of like marketing and building up your classes, and are there things you're doing differently now than you were doing back then, right at the beginning?
I took a lot of feedback from the parents to start with. So the first cohort of women who came along to baby massage just said, "Oh, we want to keep coming. We would love to just come every week," which slowly developed. And it started as massage, music, and movement. We just made it up on the day in the class and said, "Come back this next week, and that's what we'll do." So that slowly grew, just turned into music and movement. So more of a sing song and some heuristic play out, and obviously a cuppa. And I wanted to continue with my yoga, so I went on to do my pre and postnatal yoga training and my baby yoga training. So I slowly developed that. It did take a little while. It was more of a challenge because I was actually doing my classes out of a Baptist church, who were very, very reluctant about yoga. So I had to do a bit of persuading that I would not be indoctrinating our babies with Buddhism and things, and that we were, it was more developmental. So it was a bit of a challenge bringing in yoga. So my baby massage, music and movement, and postnatal and baby yoga is my three main classes. And as with everything and with every business, I can have one block completely fully booked, and the next block it's quite quiet. It just depends what's happening at the time. As I say, probably the word I'm going to keep saying, it does take a lot of patience to keep going. Throwing in some night specials, always bringing up something seasonal, Valentine's, Father's Day, Mother's Day, things like that. You can always bring more people in for more special retreats and fun days and things like that. So it's always changing with what people want. It's always checking in and getting feedback as well from people if they really enjoyed something, because some people think, "Oh, I just do the one block of yoga," but actually when you say to people in class that you can come for as many blocks as you want, then they realise, "Oh, I can just keep going, this isn't just the end of my journey." So it's always continuously chatting to people and getting feedback from them about what they want and what they need.
That's such a good point, and I think that shows like such, fantastic entrepreneurial flair, is that you are asking people what they want and not making assumptions, and not thinking, "Oh, I'm trained in this one thing, so I'm just going to do these classes." You went out on a limb and wanted to know what it was that you could provide them to keep them coming back and keep, have that return customer, which is really important as a small business owner, to maximize the clients that see you and the clients that love you. Like they want to spend their money with you, they want to spend more time with you. So it's like, what else can I offer them? How else can I support them? And it sounds like you did that absolutely beautifully, and definitely something that I think other businesses listening could really adapt and, do for themselves very, very easily.
Adapt to what you've got, and everybody's slightly different, because being in a rural area, I think, can sometimes be a bit more challenging.
Yeah.
It's a very new concept for people here, that there's postnatal yoga and things like that. So it's, to begin, I don't need to do it as often now, but to begin with, I had to put a lot of information about what it was, what they were coming into, that it's not, even though I'm a yoga teacher, it's not necessarily woo-woo and spiritual. And I always say at the beginning of a yoga class, there's two sides to me. So yes, I love my crystals and my yoga and things like that, but also I am very logical. You'll learn everything about development. That's the side I'm quite good at. It comes out from me naturally. And I think when people realise things like that they can take from a class what they need. And if I say anything spiritual that doesn't connect with them, just let it go over their head and enjoy the parts of the class that they need and that they like, which seems to have worked. So just continuously communicating what it actually is.
Yeah.
That's helped me a lot.
That's so good. I love how you really know your client, your ideal client. Like, that's how it's coming across to me, is you just know them so well, and you really adapt your language and your classes to what they need and what their babies need, which I really love. I just love to know how you went from, where this spark of an idea came from for the digital products, and, expanding your business in that direction.
I found the algorithm of making money online on TikTok last year, and I actually had a whole other social media helping people diversify their income with affiliate marketing and digital products and things like that. And I had my own digital resources before, so I've had a Huga course from a training academy before. I've done webinars and masterclasses and things like that, so I already knew sort of how to try and get in more online things. And I had created a reflux resource for parents, and it was a digital resource which I had added some massage videos in. I'm a tummy time practitioner with Carly, so I'd done quite a few tummy time videos in that resource as well. Woohoo, Carly! So I had created that for parents, and was selling that as a digital resource. And I actually had a business coaching call, because I am at the point where I'm not really niching down. I've just, because of my wellbeing therapies, I do sound baths and all this, and I do my parent and baby stuff, and I do my online stuff, and I was a bit all over the place, and I still am. It just takes a while to really nail down what you feel really passionate about. And she had suggested, because I had said I feel like I want to level up and help businesses and not just be running my classes, because I have got a couple of members of staff, so it was slowly maybe leveling up a little bit. And I had said about the likes of master resale rights and private label rights and things, and she said about it being an ideal resource, because other baby massage instructors would really love this knowledge. They would really love to be able to sell their own product and diversify their income, and also to make parent and baby businesses realise that there are other ways to make income, that they don't have to burn themselves out with a full timetable all the time, and that the amount of joy they would get from selling something online, checking their emails after just running a class and thinking, oh, I've just made a bit of money while running my class, and you can do so many different things. The parent and baby industry is massive, and I don't know if we always tap into that, and really see how we can support parents, not just locally in person, but locally, online, nationally, and internationally, and reach a lot more people with the knowledge that we have. And a good way to do that is through parent and baby businesses.
Definitely. I really, really love that. It's such a great idea. And so how have you gone about putting that out there to the world, and how's it going?
So originally for my resource that I created for parents, it took me about a year, because in all honesty, reflux was not my, thing that I knew lots about, but it was the biggest topic in all classes. And
Wow.
I have shared about it, but as of our duty of care, I don't think that we can be signposting to GPs, because parents are coming back a lot more upset. They're only going on the medical ladder. They're not going by everything else. So it did take me a year. I did some workshops and things with Anya Homer, the reflux lady, loads of research through books and things like that, following lots of osteopaths and chiropractors and tongue-tie specialists. So it did take a year to launch the original resource. And once that was in place, to add it as a PLR, so your private label rights, which allows a parent and baby business to edit it, rebrand it. They can create their own videos and just take my videos out and add their own in. So it then becomes their own resource. It didn't take as long. I just had to make sure that I had researched everything about PLR, put in the terms and conditions and made them really clear, and put it out there. And I had way more interest than I thought I would.
Amazing.
And I feel like I've got women working on their packages and resources. One person's actually taken it and make it into a course. So it just shows how creative everybody is. And I knew in advance that me keeping the template simple meant that they could bring in their own creativity and really make it their own, which is what I'm seeing. And it's quite exciting to see how different everybody uses that resource.
Amazing.
So it's been quite exciting the last few weeks. I was nervous to launch it because I wasn't sure if people would understand it or not. But once people do understand it, they're really going with it. So
Brilliant.
hopefully it's one of many resources.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Like, what's in the pipe? What would be next in terms of, would you do another private label rights package, or would you, is there plans to do something completely different, or what direction are you going in?
I'm taking the summer off because I've got a big birthday, and then I'm going to get into gear and see what I want to do next. I did have a Huga course out there, and people still message me now saying, are you doing this course? Are you going to put this course out? And I do have lots of resources from that. So I feel like it might be good timing to maybe do some Huga resources coming into the autumn.
Yeah.
But I really like that the reflux one's very practical, and it's what's really needed at this time. So it's about thinking what else is maybe needed for the parent and baby businesses. So yeah, I might have to go on another business coaching call and get some more ideas.
Well,
I'm just recovering from the launch of the first one.
It's amazing, like the way that you've gone about this, though. You've obviously, being somebody who works with parents, you knew that one of the biggest problems was reflux, and so you knew that other baby professionals would be, having the same questions, and their clients would be having the same problem. So you created a solution to that, and I just think like that's so innovative, and especially the way you've done it with the private label rights. Like I think I probably know of one other business. There's probably others, but maybe one other business in the birth and baby world. And they're definitely more in the birth world that do private label rights products and packages. So it just feels like something very different and very new. So like hats off to you for doing that and bringing something new to the marketplace. Yeah, it sounds like it's going well, and I really hope it continues to.
Yeah, I really love it too. I think it's such a good idea, and I think there's a lot more scope there. And we train business obviously people to set up businesses and run them with our other businesses, and we know that our students are always asking for different things, and sometimes we can provide them, and sometimes we can't, or we don't have the capacity or the time or the knowledge. So it's great that there's, I think there's always going to be a need for birth and baby businesses. They want to add things on. They feel like they don't know enough about something, or they don't, or actually even when it comes down to templates, a lot of people, they don't want to do designing or creating stuff, or they don't want to think through a process, or they don't want to think through the steps, even though I haven't looked at that resource, but I'm imagining that it's probably quite simple, and ideas that fit with the work that you do. So I think but it takes a certain kind of creative person to be able to put something like that together, which I think a lot of people don't have. And I think sometimes when we can do something like that, we think that, it's going to be easy for everybody, but that just isn't the case. So I think what you've done is a really good example of using your own skills and zone of genius, if you like that phrase, to kind of create something, and people are just absolutely loving it, because it really means that you've done a lot of the hard work for them, things that they wouldn't have even known how to do. So I think it's great.
Originally start your business for baby massage and yoga and parent and baby classes. Your main focus is the class, how it will run, the setup, and we don't often get any training or information on the other side of it. Like, I love that you two have came out and are doing the business side of it, because that's where people really struggle. And even knowing the simple things, like people can't always use the likes of Canva and software, because there maybe is training, but we don't end up in that sort of algorithm because we are looking at all the parent and baby things. So within the template, I definitely put in lots of things, like you can put a photo here, like you can, so throughout the template, I did lots of instructions. So it was really, really simple for people to be like, oh, I just need to type this. Oh, I just need to look for a wee photo here. With lots of emails going out afterwards saying to people, if you click on this and you do this, so it's really easy for people. And the creative side is their branding, what photos they want to use, like the fun side. So it is also teaching people that there's lots of different ways to do things. And you just need to give somebody a little idea that ignites their creativity, and then it works.
Yeah, definitely. And creating that passive income stream for yourself, now that you've created that product and you're out there promoting it and selling it. But then for the other birth and baby business owners to, again, once they've made it their own, they then have like a passive income stream, which is fantastic, which means if they can sell that if, like you were saying earlier, how we all go through these challenges, these ebbs and flows, where our businesses are full classes, oh no, my classes aren't full this month, oh now they're full again. So having that passive income just really helps to balance out those ebbs and flows that we naturally experience in business. So I think it's a great idea, and I definitely think you should do more. I can see that there must be loads of ideas brewing in your head. It's fantastic, definitely. So one of our questions was going to be like, how do you differentiate your business from others in the market? But like I said, I don't really think there's anybody else doing what you're doing right now that I'm aware of. Like, do let me know, anybody watching this, if they're if you know of other businesses. So was that your goal? Were you like, I need to come up with something different to make my business stand out and make it more sustainable? Or is that the power behind it as well?
Yeah. It was definitely a mix of, so 2023 I felt a little bit low. I loved my classes, but I just knew from previous experiences that I always say up level, and I never know how to explain it. Like, I just wanted to promote myself in a way. And I've obviously spoke to my business girlies like Carly and stuff about this, and finding that something where I can be helping parent and baby businesses And hopefully the reflux resource is the start of that. And maybe eventually I'll just get to wander into my studio and see my staff doing my classes, and I've maybe promoted myself a little bit more. Eventually, it might take its time, but I am hoping that this resource is the start of that for myself and for my own business, and not working for somebody else or doing it for somebody else, but trying to do it for myself. So hopefully this year continues to be positive, and I'll work on some more things to help businesses, because I think we all need it as a business, don't we? We can quite often have our training and it doesn't come with any business training or different ways that we can do things, and I'm hoping that can be a small part of that for businesses.
Definitely.
That's so good.
I love it.
Yeah, I really love it. I love the uniqueness of it, and I love the vision. I think, like, just, hearing you talk about that vision of, being able to see your staff run your classes, and obviously you're halfway there already because you have got people teaching for you. So it's like, it's great. It's a great thing to hold on to, and it's what to keep coming back to, isn't it? When you're trying to be innovative and think of different things, to come back to that sort of, that goal. I'd love to know, what is your sort of, over the years, in all aspects of your business, what has been your biggest lesson so far?
Perseverance and patience. You probably knew that I was going to say that. It took me a very long time to even set up my email marketing, and I think I've missed out on so much over a few years because I didn't do proper email marketing, and things changed when I did that. People who were maybe not on social media, especially Facebook, were then realising that there was classes on. If you're in the parent and baby industry, this is when you can throw in affiliate marketing, always have things going on in your email where you've got different points of sale. So the business side, I wish that I had that first, and knew what to do. I feel like you're just plodding along, you're trying to figure things out, and for a few years to work out the business side of things. And as I say, that's why I love to see your business, because this is what we all need. I mean, the amount of messages I get from other instructors like, how do you set up this and how do you do that? And I'm like, well, I figured it out by doing it this way, so we definitely need the social media marketing, networking, business training and things like that. If I had that a long time ago, I feel like I would maybe have been making more income, and I would have been utilising social media for nationally and internationally more, rather than just being so focused on just my little small classes in my rural town. So learning how to expand is definitely something you need to do as a business, especially with, having so much social media now and that we can reach so many different audiences. I think it's good to say something like that because I want to open up people's eyes to how they can really diversify. So yeah,
definitely, that's really, really inspiring. And I think again, it's similar to a theme that's running through all of these episodes that we're recording, is really kind of encouraging people to think outside the box, to think big with their vision, because if you don't have that bigger vision, like, what are you doing? You're kind of like just sort of plodding along, trying to get the odd client here and there. When you've got a mission like you have, and you've got a vision like you have, it really does spark that creativity and that motivation, and that just makes you take action. So I really think that's a great lesson to share. And maybe this is quite similar, but I'd love to know, what if there was a brand new birth and baby business owner stood right in front of you right now, and their dreams are of creating an impactful and sustainable business in the birth and baby world. What would you say to them? What's the one piece of advice that you would say to them right now?
Concentrate on what you know right now, but always be learning more. Always expanding your knowledge, and don't always believe that doing lots and lots of training courses is going to be your next We've all got shiny object syndrome, haven't we?
Yes.
Take the
Mhm.
training that you've got and really, really work on that and get as much experience as possible. Because experience is what brings you into your natural teaching. So you end up with your natural teaching voice. You know how to support and signpost. So always meeting new people and getting lots of different experiences, and learning from every single class that you run. Yeah, definitely. And do business training. Do all the business side of stuff and learn that so that all the back end is in order and working, and that's not stressing you out and burning you out, and you can happily run your classes knowing that things are working in the back end. So that was maybe far too much to tell somebody.
No, great. Perfect advice,
brilliant.
definitely. And I agree with it all. The shiny object syndrome is rife within the birth and baby world. So it is like, just doing, I'm not filling my classes. I'll just do another training course. Yeah.
They do have it in their mind that this isn't working, so I need to do this next thing that's came out, and that is what will make people book. But it's actually networking and connections and word of mouth rather than the next thing that's coming out.
Definitely.
100%.
It takes a while to learn that, though. You have to spend a bit of money on all that training before you learn that lesson.
Yeah, it's true. Because I think it also goes alongside imposter syndrome, which we know that, is something experienced by all of us probably, but it's also, there's that thing as well, is that do we ever feel like we know enough to be out there on a national or international scale. The imposter syndrome can become really, can become a big factor, and often we can tell ourselves stories about not knowing enough to be doing what we're doing, but it's not really true, is it? So I think that piece of advice
we can actually learn more from the parents, can't we? The parents will tell you exactly what they need, exactly what support they need, and you're only going to know what they want when you connect with them. Instead of having this.
That's great.
The parents will definitely tell you what they need, because if they're struggling in a class, you will know about it. And when you approach them and ask them what they need, it's not the fancy classes that we're doing. It's not the, all the sensory things that we're seeing right now. It's genuine connection and support that they need. And when we learn that, we can kind of come away from that shiny object syndrome and concentrate on what you're doing there and then with that person who needs you there in that moment.
Such good advice. Such good advice, which brings you right back to that baby massage teacher who brought you back into that class when you were crying and upset. Is always listening to your clients, to your parents, to the families that you work with. So what a great piece of advice to end on. So I think the final thing to say, Rachel, is please share with everybody where they can find out more information about you, how they can get in touch with you, particularly if they're interested in your digital products, etc.
Rose Wellbeing Therapies on Facebook, and on Instagram I'm at Rose W Therapies. So Instagram's where I've been sharing most of my PLR stuff, and it's available in my link there. I've also got a little link if you wanted to sign up and find out lots more about it before thinking about purchasing. So learning a lot more about PLR and things before getting it. So that's in there. My website's rosewtherapies.co.uk. And I'm mostly Instagram. If you want to find me there, always happy to take messages and things like that from people if they want to learn more. Thank you so much for having me on.
That's brilliant.
Thanks for being here. It's been great.
Definitely. We'll put all that info in the show notes so it's easy for people to connect with you. And the only thing to say is that anybody who's been watching or listening to this, if you've enjoyed what we've had, our conversation, if you've been inspired by anything, please, if you're watching YouTube, drop a comment below so that we know, or leave us a review over on your favorite podcast provider, or we'd love to hear from you on Instagram as well, at Baba Business. So thank you so much, Rachel, and we'll be back next week with another episode.
Bye.
Bye.